What is up, Wizards fans? Welcome to another Believe in Wizards podcast. I'm Matt Moderno, joined here today by NBA draft hopeful, prospect, fifth-year senior out of Montana, Dischon Thomas. Dischon, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
This is perfect timing because you just worked out with the Wizards earlier today, and this is a Wizards podcast. So everyone listening to this is going to be very intrigued about what you have to say. But before we get going, we're brought to you by Stateside Vodka and their Surfside hard iced teas, hard lemonades, hard every flavor you can think of, basically, and they're all delicious. Also brought to you by BetOnline. It's your number one source for all your betting needs this season for baseball, boxing, golf, UFC, you name it. They have it. Get every stat, matchup, and even live odds. When the game is over, you can head to the online casino and get in on the game. You can play blackjack, poker, even one of their 150 slots, and you can head to the website to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Okay, just first question for you, Dischon. For anybody who's not familiar with your game, I guess how would you describe the way you play and what you hope to bring to an NBA team?
I would say simple. Nothing too flashy. Just trying to get a job done.
Sure.
What I do best is shoot. So, just spacing the floor is probably my best attribute offensively. Just letting other guys be able to do whatever, and just being able to space, shoot, make decisions, make plays.
That's perfect in today's NBA because I think you got to do a bunch of different things, right? And I think for you, I've heard you say in the past that you started off as a guard before a big growth spurt, and that shows in the way you play. Like you can put the ball on the floor, you can attack, close out. So making those good decisions, I think, is really important for teams. Like, hey, this is a fifth-year senior; he knows how to play. He's played for good coaches, so we can kind of trust him to go out there and make smart plays. And that's obvious when I see you play basketball too. So I'm sure that the teams are excited about that part of your game too.
Definitely.
Just a little bit here about the shooting piece of this specifically. I think you're probably about like 6'9" ish, right?
Yep.
So a 6'9" guy that is an actual knockdown shooter, and I feel comfortable calling you that. I've seen enough of you play that the ball barely touches the net when these threes go in. You were 41% from three this year on 4 attempts, so that's a real sample size for a big. I guess is that sort of the main thing that teams kind of have mentioned, have stood out about your game to them, is just that ability to shoot with size.
Definitely, shooting with size is a big piece of my game and what sticks out the most. Like I said, I'm not too flashy, but one thing I do well is space the floor and being able to shoot.
I think the other nice piece of this too, though, is there are some guys that are big and shoot, and that's kind of all they got. And people can put smaller guys on them and not let them get the ball and stuff like that. But you punish smaller guys when they're on you. You've got a post game and stuff too. And like I said, you'll attack and close out. So has that been like a tough thing to kind of figure out the balance of like when to take a guy in the post or when to pull him away from the basket?
Definitely. I would say when I was younger, I had to make a huge adjustment of just what happens when they take the three away. What's next?
Sure.
So I would say a big part of my game, especially this past year at Montana, was just teams knowing what I'm able to do, and coaches' game plans are going to take away what you do best. So being able to post up, take advantage of mismatches, command a double team in a post, and make the right read, passing it out has been huge over the last few years.
How about the other end of the floor? So you average 1 block a game, but most of those blocks were spectacular blocks. I saw you volleyball spike a couple of guys this year, and some big time blocks. But defensively, do you think you can be a switchable guy and stay in front of people on the perimeter? Is that something that you work on a lot, or are you more a drop big? Like, how do you see yourself playing at the next level?
I'll definitely see me switching. So when I was younger, I've been a guard in my past. I've played big. My couple years at Colorado State, I was a 5, so I've been able. And then at Montana, we switched 1 through 4 a lot of games, so I've been all over guarding. I've guarded almost every position in the game for the most part. So I would say I'm definitely can switch. I can drop. I've done every ball screen coverage. So I'm love that I'm versatile in that aspect.
I think it says a lot about you too that both of your coaches trusted you to do that. Like Nico Medved does not play around, and Coach DeQuire this year is another guy that he knows what he's doing, and they were comfortable letting you kind of be in those situations. And I think that probably gives NBA teams some ease that you're able to do that too, because they know what kind of coaching you come from.
Definitely.
All right, so obviously I've familiarized you with the fans here listening, so let's get into the workout here today a little bit. So How does this process go? Did they fly you in last night and get you a meal and stuff like that and get you set up and then work you out the day? How did that kind of go for you?
Yeah, they took care of me. I flew in, got in late last night, got some sleep, woke up, did a physical, um, a couple tests or whatever, and then once they fed us, of course. They took great care of us, me
Awesome.
and some other guys in the group, and
Mhm.
like I said, they took care of us, and then when we got on the court, it was just rapid fire, just right into it, which I loved. It was a
Mhm.
kind of a shock, but I loved it in terms of just getting us going. I can't really tell you names.
Sure.
I met so many people today, shook so many hands, but
Mhm.
the guy running the workout was great. His energy was high, so
Okay.
he got our energy up early, and kind of just got after it today.
Is there like a warm up period here? Are you expected to come in warmed up and ready to go? Or are they kind of ease you into things a bit?
I would say they warmed us up. They had a guy there that warmed us up pretty well, and then after the stretching,
Mhm.
we got right into it. Uh,
They're not messing
Defensive,
around, huh?
yeah, trying to get a stop immediately was the first drill, which was cool. I've done that in
Mhm.
the past, so that was something I was used to. But the workout was great. It was just one thing I took away was just how fast the game is at this level. I could feel it
Sure.
through the workouts. I want to say the workout was no more than an hour, but we did
Okay.
so much in that hour. It
There's
didn't
no
even feel like
wasted time, right?
yeah, no wasted time. So just how fast and then how fast you pick up on things. A
Mhm.
coach will explain a drill, and you gotta get it done. And then
Sure.
as soon I'm a thinker, I like to process things, a couple reps in and get used to it. And one thing I noticed was how quick as soon as I maybe got the hang of something, we were already moving on to the next drill. So just learning a lot of the workout today was just learning and getting adjusted to just how fast the speed of the game is.
I think that's like the mental part of the workout too, right? They want to see who picks those things up or who needs it explained to them,
Yeah,
multiple times. So that you're picking it up quick and ready to go is a good thing, I would think.
yeah, definitely. I would say they did a great job of just in this workout. We had a lot of in-game scenario
Mhm.
drills and things we did, which was really cool. We even coaches even drawed up a couple plays for us to execute, so I thought that was pretty cool.
A lot of these workouts tend to be like 3-on-3, it seems like, or you're in there with a group of six. So usually a couple guards and maybe you and one other big or something like that. Is that similar to how it's structured today?
Yeah, couple guards, couple wings, bigs. Yeah,
Any names of players we know there, guys you matched up with specifically that you had a good battle with?
man. I know I can't, like I said, names. I'm horrible with names in this
It's
process,
a lot
but
of people in a short
yeah,
amount of time across a
yeah.
lot of workouts and stuff too.
I would say a guy from Providence was pretty good. A guard from Missouri,
Okay.
Florida, uh, a big fella that I know that was at Florida, and I'm forgetting the school he was at this past year, but it was a pretty great mix of guys that was there. It was real competitive.
Mhm. Uh, the guy you're matched up specifically, a similar style player or a guy with a totally kind of different style play?
I would say totally different.
Okay.
A guy I know I matched up with was more of a traditional big.
Mhm.
Uh, he had me by like at least 30, 40 pounds. And there was another guy that was kind of similar to me. I would say that was another big there. That was pretty similar in height and able to put on the floor a little bit and could shoot it, step out a little bit. But I would say this workout was, which I liked as well, is that it was just all over. Guys were we were sometimes we switched, sometimes we was in a drop. Just this workout was just I had to guard. Like I said, it was a guy that was like 280. I had to guard him. Then I
Jeez.
had to go out and guard a quick little guard out on a one-on-one drill on a long closeout, and then I had to turn
Mhm.
around and guard a long athletic wing. So this workout was just all over the place. And then you're trying to pick up on guys' tendencies, and you know them, but you don't know them when you're out there. So you're trying to pick up who
Yeah.
can shoot, who can't, who.
And in like a full game, you can feel a guy out a little bit too.
Yeah.
And like, all right, we'll see if this guy can make one. You give him a little
Mhm.
room the first time, but in such a short dynamic setting like that, it's probably really tough. And you
Yeah,
got to assume everybody can do everything in one of these workouts.
exactly. So it keeps you on your toes.
One of the questions in the chat here is how different was this from other teams' workouts? So just compare it to other workouts you've had in the past for us.
Well, the other workout I had was in Chicago, so I would say it was real similar in a sense of just being competitive, and all the drills, shooting drills were competitive. You're trying to win a spot, the one-on-one, trying to get a stop. All that was pretty similar. I would say here a big difference here was just the pace of the workout here at the Wizards was a lot faster. Like I said, mentioned earlier, like just from this drill, finish this drill, we're on to the next drill. We get the instruction, and then we got to go out there, execute. At this particular workout, we had a lot of guys. They had a lot of practice guys there that helped. I want to say they were maybe coaches that stepped out.
Development staff or something.
Yeah, that came and played with us. So we competed and went down and did some 5-on-5 stuff that I haven't done yet at a workout, which is pretty cool. And then they're also there to help too. So they're competing with us and trying to get stops, whatever they guard us. So that was pretty cool. And they're also there to teach. So it was cool to go play against them.
So did they actually give you some like, hey, you might want to try this kind of instruction while it's going on?
Yeah, just detailed stuff. Just make sure you got a hand on a closeout early, or just explaining a drill. Just giving us little tips here and there during the play. Like I said, they moved fast, so wasn't too much they could say while it was going on.
So how'd it go? How'd you think it went for you? Did you shoot the ball pretty well?
I think it went well. I could have shot it better. I'm a little hard on myself when it comes to shooting, so I feel like I could have shot it better. But overall, I feel like it went really pretty well. Tried my best to showcase everything I could do, things I've been working on in terms of obviously teams know I can shoot, so just trying to show that I could put the ball on the ground, make a play, or get, like I said, take advantage of mismatches because at this level in NBA, teams switch a lot. So a lot of times that jump shot that was there is not going to be there in terms of like a pick and pop situation. So yeah, I would say overall it went pretty well.
Do you rotate through the guys you play with, or are you sort of like, here's our three, here's their three, or does it mix up throughout the workouts and the drills?
It was pretty mixed. Some drills we had specific teams or not, but it was pretty mixed. Like I said, I guarded almost everyone there, no matter if they were big, small, or whatever, and then guys had to guard me as well, so it was just all over. Like I said, I had to guard some of the developmental staff as well. They were actually pretty good.
I bet a bunch of those guys can play.
Yeah.
And there's Alexi Ajinsa is one of the guys that is an assistant coach for the G League team, and he's like a 7-footer. So if you saw any huge guys in there,
I did.
He played in the league for probably 10 years. So that's a tough matchup even now.
Yeah, he was huge. He was there for sure.
That's cool. The Wizards used to have like this famed conditioning test that they ended every workout with, where they were like trying to make guys throw up at the end. But this is a new front office. I haven't heard about that from anybody yet. So was there any kind of a brutal sprint at the end of this thing?
Nah, there wasn't any brutal sprinting. Like I said, I was expecting. You always want to go in these workouts just with an open mind, and you never know what to expect. But luckily, there wasn't any crazy conditioning where it's making guys throw up.
Yeah, that's good. Any interview component of this at all? Like, do they sit with you one-on-one and kind of get to know you a little bit and get a feel for you, or is it mostly just sort of on the court work and then they get you out of there pretty efficiently?
For this one, it was more just getting in and getting out in terms of just showcasing things on the floor, getting the work in, and then getting out, because like as soon as the workout's over, your flight's like in an hour or so. So just this one was just more so getting the work in, and then around the facility there's guys all over that you could talk to. I know there was we were eating after the workout and we had a good conversation with one of the guys, so that was pretty cool.
I'm assuming one of the people running the workouts was one of their VPs, a guy named Travis Schlenk, probably 40s, bald, white guy, a little over 6 feet tall. I would imagine he was there because he's been running a lot of the workouts, but he was the GM of the Hawks for a long time too. And I think he's got kind of this background in doing that pre-draft process. So I would imagine he was probably around the gym that day.
Yeah, there was a bald guy that ran the workout prior to him.
Gotcha. Okay.
Apologies for the names. Like I
No,
said,
it's okay, man. Like I said, I totally get that. I'm sure they're throwing a lot at you, but I'm trying to piece it together a little bit. So I think that probably makes sense.
yeah,
Uh, do they give you feedback at all before you leave, or do they give your agent a call after and pass along some notes?
probably my agent. I'll probably get some feedback at some point, sometime soon, with my
Okay.
agent, and then he relays the message to me.
Mhm. Uh, just in general, like the draft is almost coming up here. That there's a chance of getting drafted. There's a chance of not getting drafted. Like for you, what's sort of the thought process here? If you have to go kind of the G League route, how are you ready for that, or going to summer league and things like that? I guess just kind of talk us through the mindset here of getting ready for the draft and what comes after that.
My mindset's open. Staying ready.
Mm.
Staying ready with these workouts. Staying prepared, and then like I said, drafted or not, I'll figure out what's the next plan, what's G League route, summer league. So just always just staying ready and keeping an open mind.
That's awesome. I think that's the best way to do it. It's kind of all you can do. Those things are
Yeah,
beyond your control. All you can do is show up and work out as well as you can, and that's
yeah.
put your best foot forward kind of stuff.
What I've learned in this process is pretty crazy and it's unknown. So just like I said, having an open mind and just controlling what you can control is the best thing to do.
Any unique aspect of that Bulls workout that's sort of different from anything we've talked about with this Wizard workout?
Uh, I would say just it's the Bulls. So obviously you got like the nostalgia aspect of it, which is
Yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
probably pretty cool.
It was my first workout at that too. So just that whole process was just different compared to this one, where like I kind of somewhat knew what to expect because it was
Mhm.
the next one. So just like I said, the overall thing that I got from both of them was just competing, and no matter what, the shots going or not, just defensively, just showing up and communicating,
Mhm.
defense communicating, and just staying locked in terms of listening to the whoever's instructing the drills or whatever, so they don't got to repeat themselves. So
Yeah, that's huge.
yeah,
So you're obviously one of the key guys on a team that was really good in its conference, but Montana is not on ESPN, prime every night. So do you feel like the guys you're playing against, like if they're less familiar with your game specifically, do you feel like you gotta have something to prove? Is there a little chip there to kind of, hey, I might not be from the biggest school, but like I can hang with all you guys?
yeah, there's definitely a little chip there being at Montana. Uh,
Mhm.
But just me, just from a confidence point, I know I can play with just about anybody. I've been blessed and able to play with some of the best players just in high school, college. Just my resume of teams I've played against in college has been pretty pretty good. And then in the high school level, I went to a prep school. I went to Hillcrest Prep in Arizona, so I played against tons of
Sure.
pros that are now pros that I've played against. So my confidence, I know I can play with just about anybody.
And you've seen double and probably triple teams throughout the year and stuff like that too. So going one on one with some of these guys, it's actually probably easier than
Yeah,
some of the nights you had in the Big Sky.
yeah. It's actually refreshing because being the guy that people don't really know about,
Mhm.
they don't know your game.
Yep.
So you can catch guys off guard a lot of times in these workouts or
Uh,
just in general.
That's great, man. You're not gonna catch them off guard for long. Once they see a couple of those threes go in,
Yeah.
they know what's up. One of the questions here in the chat is just how would you compare the facilities in Washington with Chicago?
Uh, I would say they're both I'm a pretty low maintenance guy, so
Sure.
all these facilities are going to look good to me. But
Mhm.
I would say the practice facility was pretty good, and both I would say they're both really good. Uh, like all the like I know for me, I could get lost in
Oh
both
yeah.
practice facilities. Just finding the locker room was tough today, but like I said, both facilities are pretty nice.
Do they send you home with the gear? Like you keep the workout gear and stuff, right?
Yeah, I got some socks and some couple of shirts
Nice.
and some shorts was pretty nice.
That's pretty cool. Just to have a little extra
Yeah,
NBA swag around that while you're playing
yeah,
pick up and stuff the rest of the summer. It's a little
yeah,
flex on people.
yeah. The socks is pretty nice.
Uh, for you, like it's I think somebody as a fifth year senior, you're obviously smart, well-polished player, like, you know the game at a high level, but there's probably less teaching they have to do for somebody that's come from, you know, good instructional backgrounds and stuff like that too. So I actually think that gives you a leg up over some of these more raw guys that they're going to have to work out. And the Wizards have had older players that they're willing to bring in. Like that, some teams I feel like shy away from that. Some teams only go for the 18, 19-year-old guys, but this kind of fits you know, their thing of guys that have more to their game that they can show, and things that you've kind of added to your game over time, I think are things that appeal to them. Like good athlete, shooting with size, can put the ball on the floor a little bit, and the success teams just had in the playoffs this year. Like 5 out is really big right now. Guys have to be able to pass, dribble, shoot at every position. So I think, you know, that's something I think you're about your game that's gonna like latch on to, you know, with NBA front offices.
Definitely, I would say just with me being an older guy, I've played almost every role you can think of in my college career, being one of the main guys and not being one of the main guys. Trying to, I would say, my years at Colorado State, being a guy where I got to make sure I get my guy a good look, or I'm ready to knock this shot down. In terms of just not having the role that I had at Montana, and then I learned at Montana just having the ball more in my hands, and that was a big learning curve. So with me, it's really no ego. I've been in any role you could think of. Even in high school, I played with a lot of guys that were a lot better than me in a sense. So I've been in every role possible. So just with me, it's just I'm ready to just come in and contribute in any way possible.
Yeah, I think that's another thing for NBA teams too, is that sometimes you have guys that were the 5-star recruits and things like that, and they draft them, and it's like, you know, you got to readjust here mentally that you're not going to come in and get up 25 shots a night as a rookie and things like that. So haven't been able to play those roles, like you said. I think that's easier for teams from a maintenance standpoint, right? Like this guy is going to be like easy, you know, come in, play his role, and good vibes. And I think that's with guys that are going second round, even potentially on a 2-way contract, that sort of thing. Like they don't want anybody rocking the boat. So I think that's another feather in your cap there too.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely got to be okay with sometimes just being in the corner, being ready to shoot, being ready to whatever, maybe get an offensive rebound, and then still being able to have the same energy to go guard and have a great attitude at that. So I would say that's a big thing now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Deshun, anything we didn't talk about here that you think would be interesting for other basketball junkies listening to this about the workout or the pre-draft process, or just kind of anything else?
I would say going to the Wizards I'm originally from Durham, North Carolina, so
okay.
John Wall, I really love John Wall.
Awesome.
So
did everyone listening to this, basically. So you're in good company here.
So that was cool to be a Wizard for a day today.
Duke fan, North Carolina fan. What was the allegiance growing up?
Grew up at Tar Heel.
Okay.
I respect Duke though. I respect them, but especially when I was younger, I would say my favorite college player of all time was Tyler Hansbrough to this day.
He's a tough SOB, man. I wouldn't have wanted to have to guard him though.
Yeah.
That's a dude that's not afraid to give somebody an elbow to the teeth if he had to.
For real.
I'm a Maryland alum back when they were still in the ACC, so I have nightmares about Tyler Hansbrough, doing work in the post on us.
Yes.
Deshun, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. I wish you the best of luck in the rest of this process here, and I hope we see you catching on with the team here in whatever form that takes, and killing it at Summer League, and we look forward to following you along the way and rooting you on, and just thank you for doing this on a busy day. So fans will really get a kick out of this, I think.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was no problem.
And just so people can follow along here with your journey and what's going on, can you give the social media handles for us?
My Instagram is Dischon T. So my first name spelled a little different, is Dischon. Mm-hmm. And then Twitter is just Dischon Thomas, just my full name.
Awesome. So if anybody is following me, I'll make sure to tweet out both handles as well, and we'll tag you in Instagram and stuff for anybody following along here too, so that they can keep tabs on where you're going, and we hope to hear a lot of great things from you moving forward.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Hey, go get some rest. You probably need it after a long day here, especially with the travel and stuff too.
Yeah, I will.
Awesome. All right, everybody, you know the drill. Click that little like button for us on YouTube if you're watching, and like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're presented by betonline.ag, and we will catch y'all next time.